Great, we are live. Hi everyone, welcome to our Omakase Show webinar series. My name is Elena or Lola. I'm co-host, curator of the Omakase Show, and just a little bit intro about the Omakase Show. Omakase Show is a show where we have weekly Twitter Spaces, webinars, which I'm responsible for. And we also launched our podcast where we showcased talented artists, digital artists, some people who are contributing to Web3 space, but mainly artists, I would say. And we started our journey from artifacts, and we were showcasing mainly artifacts creators. But we are going to our webinar today, and I have an amazing artist. So last week, I've been to NFT Rome where I met the whole Vivid Gallery artist. And last week, we had a webinar with CyberC, who is an amazing Polish, talented creative coder artist. And now we have Medusa, who is also represented by Vivid Gallery, who I met personally in Rome. And so he has an amazing journey. He started as a software engineer to becoming a full-time artist. Now he also teaches at the university. And I'm also writing an article on generative art, and I asked Medusa to contribute to it. And he gave a lot of tips for people who are starting their journey with creative coding. So I'm sure, determined that this webinar will be super interesting for you guys. And so, yeah, hi, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into the space? Though I'm talking too much and I kind of covered your journey, but yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Elena. Thanks to bring me here. I'm so glad to speak with you. So yeah, talking a bit about myself. Okay, so my real name is Miguel, but as you know, I use the pseudonym of Medusa. And yeah, if I have to talk about myself, if I have to describe myself, I will say that I'm a really quiet person, very curious, and also imaginative, and also persevering. Like when I have a passion in my head, until I don't get it, I'm not satisfied, and which can generate some stress in my day to day, but at the same time makes me go straight to my goals. Like these are personality aspects that I have had since I was a child, I think. And as for where I come from and food also, um, like they are closely related to each other because I love Spanish food and I'm from Spain, and I think we have one of the best gastronomies in the world. I'm not going to say it's the best, but for sure it's one of the best. And in particular, I really like paella, which is from my place, my city. It's from Valencia, where I come from. Um, like here, the paella it's something really traditional to sit down on Sundays and enjoy with good company, with family and friends. But I have to say that I love Italian food also. The days we were in Rome, I really enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, I love paella, and I also love it for a reason that whenever you're in Spain and you order a paella, it's always a big, dish. It's enormously big for
Yeah,
two or even three. So this is beautiful because I've been to Spain and then I go back and I ordered something in Poland, and so the dish was so small. I was so disappointed. I got used to this big sizes.
yeah, you needed to. Yeah, here we have big quantities. Too big for me. I have to say. I don't like to eat too much. I don't like the feeling of being full. And, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I feel you. And so, can you tell us, we know you had this moment where you were like a software engineer, and then you merged into creating your art collections. And so, who would be those artists that inspired you, either traditional or digital artists that
Hmm.
still inspire you?
Well, yeah, starting with my journey on art, um, like my love for art, I'm pretty sure that it comes from my childhood. Like my father has always liked it to draw and paint since he was a child, and he was the one that who teach me the first steps, like who teach me to draw the shadows and shapes to give depth to a scene, or work with the color, with the mix of colors. And it's something that I have always kept as a hobby while I have worked or studied as a software engineer. But I must say that I've never been too good at it. But it's something that it has influenced me a lot for the generative art, for sure. And yeah, if I have to mention my reference, my artist reference, well, in terms of traditional artists, I have I will say that Goya is one of the best for me. For me, is the best Spanish artist in history. Like his whole artistic evolution and the way he reflects the pain and terror. For me, it's fascinating. And yeah, regarding to more actual days, like moving a bit into the future and NFTs, the artist that I will say that really motivated me to get involved with generative art was Pasto Boy and his work Plasticity from Gym Studio. Like I remember when I saw it, I was simply amazed at what could be done through code. Like it is a highly technical work that has somehow influenced the creation of Rising Echoes. Like Rising Echoes, also it's also a highly technical work, and also it has the same isometric style. So there is a big relation between those collections, and it has influenced it in my career a lot, I would say.
Sounds amazing. Actually, I also love Goya. He's like pretty well-known Spanish artist. And I
Hmm.
was just like a fun fact. I was reading this news. So back at this time, they were using this material. I don't know how to call it in English. In their paint, and it costs a little bit of like poisonous. So
Yeah.
sometimes when he was creating artworks, he was like a little bit poisoned, and that's why sometimes they're a little bit like too darky, a little bit like I don't know, like uncanny and scary in a way. Um, yeah. And so I have your artworks here from your artifact collection. If you go to like Vivid Gallery website, I mean the listeners, you can actually like access this collection. It is inscription on Bitcoins. And so like honestly, I will start with compliments. This is the art that I love. Like this is the art that I would purchase. I love geometrical forms. It reminds me of like Pete Mondrian in a way, a little bit like Kandinsky vibe. So like this is like completely my style. And so can you like tell us how you actually create this complex code to generate something like this?
Yeah, like I remember that I was asked this question recently in Rome, and I remember I spent a long time thinking, because I actually I don't know what ones were. I didn't know what ones were. I realized it that I don't really have a process. Like I simply create. It's like a dialogue between me and the machine, and I interact with it by writing the code, and it responds to me with outputs. So it's more an automatic and messy interaction than a process, than a path to follow. Although not everything comes out of nowhere. Like I think many times before I start programming, I usually have an idea of the step I want to take, but like everything is very fluid in my works. It's not something that I think too much. It's more an interaction and relationship that I create, and I always take a lot of influence from the visuals and approach. So I studied a lot the works on constructivism, Kandinsky, for example, that you told me, Malevich, for example. I saw all the works of those artists, and I just tried to get a visual relation on my work of them.
Thank you so much. Actually, yeah, Malevich, I think it's like Malevich, or just in Spanish.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's an extremely talented Ukrainian artist, in fact, and he made a lot of like buzz with his super simple, either black artwork. So thank you so much for mentioning him. It warms my heart. And so, like, I have one small question about this. What I really enjoy about this collection is the intersection of colors.
Yeah.
They like super well fitted together. Is this something that you determine, or is this something that your code determines when it comes to colors?
Yeah, when it comes to colors, we have two aspects. We have the palette of the colors. There, I don't remember how much are, but I think there are like 15 palettes or something like that. Each one of them has the constructivism artist name to differentiate each one. So yeah, for the intersections, what does the algorithm is it goes each pixel of each pixel in the screen and tries to find which pieces intersect and assigns a color to those pieces. So it's more a random color assignation than something that has a rule. But yeah, we did some curation to the artwork just to find the pieces that the colors go go better.
Thank you so much. And um, can you tell us which programming language you use, which app, how does it work in general?
Yeah, which programming language you said? Yeah, I have to say that I code everything with JavaScript. It has been like the language with which I have worked more as a software engineer, so I have enough knowledge about it. I used to use the P5 library. I use P5 in both collections, Rising Echoes and Artifact. It's just to avoid reinventing the wheel and focus more on the art. Like P5 gives you some helper functions to go a bit to move a bit faster on generative art, but all the other things it's just my own code. And I really love JavaScript because it's something that it runs on the browser, which makes it perfect for NFTs and ordinals. Like you're going to run JavaScript on your mobile or on your browser, and you will see the output rendering, which is something really fascinating. That's why I work on with it. But I have to say that since more than a month ago, I'm also learning shaders language. It's something that you can see it in the last experiments with the brush strokes that I'm working on. You can check on my Twitter. But yeah, it's uh, a bit harder than JavaScript. I will say it's something more hard. For all the people that is starting, I will say that the best is to learn JavaScript. And the programs that I use, I just use a code editor, a Visual Studio Code editor, and that's all. Some kind of helpful extensions, and that's everything. That's my stack.
Thank you. And so, yeah, I saw this artwork that you've been posting on X. Is this going to be a new collection, or is it something you are trying like just experimenting on one pieces?
Yeah, that's neither one of them. I mean, it's more it's more tools that I'm building that they are going to be present in my next works. They are going to be present in small collections and also in the big one that I'm planning for the next year. So I'm just working to have the tools to create those brush strokes with some painting and material physics, with the texture. Yeah, something that it really feels real. It really feels like the paint. Um, but yeah, I have another composition ideas in my mind, and I will use those tools to bring it to life.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
I see. And I actually love these pieces too, like the ones that you're just sharing. I'm sharing my screen because I want to show like more detailed your collection. This
Yeah.
is Artifact. And we also have Rising Echoes. And I think you can just tell us a little bit about each and one of them. They all like are gorgeous. I'm just trying to understand how to scroll it. Huh? I don't know. Okay. It's somehow I cannot scroll, but oh,
But you can browse the whole collection. Yeah. Also, you have it on Magic Eden.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, here it is. So yes, this is Artifact. Just can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, sure. Well, like for Artifact, well, I will compare a bit to Rising Echoes because Artifact and Rising Echoes are my two main collections on Ordinals. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and you can find all the info about them on Vivid page. It's all explained. Um, but I have to say that I'm currently preparing a book for each of them for the collectors who have at least one piece on their wallets. So the book is going to explain all the process, all the algorithm behind, and it also is going to show the whole collections. It's going to be a QR to the inscription and all the traits of the collection. And yeah, about those collections, I will only say that Rising Echoes was more focused a lot on the technical aspect. So like the really interesting thing here is in the rendering algorithm that I came up with, which I think it's quite original and unique. And the other hand, for Artifact, focuses more on the artistic aspect of the work, uh, taking a lot of reference and consulting many historical reference like constructivism and suprematism. Um, but yeah, you have all the info there, and yeah. I don't
I
know.
love both of them, but like I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like
Yeah.
this collection, like Artifact, it's like it's super rare for me. When I look into the collection, there are some pieces I don't like, but here
Yeah.
I love all of them. The
Uh-huh.
colors, the forms, the shapes are just it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, like one of the hardest things for Artifact was trying to feel somehow to feel like there are not too many pieces in one place. Like there is a good balance on the composition of each one. So it was something hard. It was one of the hardest parts of building it, and also we did a lot of curation, taking out outputs that I didn't like it much. But yeah, what the algorithm does almost it does a lot of things. But one of the things that it does is it tries to don't intersect too much pieces. Like it tries to put randomly the pieces on the canvas, but when it finds that too many pieces are in one place, then it removes some of them, and it creates, as I said, a more balanced composition. And it also uses in some outputs like the mirroring. So we have, for example, in this one, we can see it in the 254. Yeah, this one, we have a symmetric pattern. It's not fully symmetric, but it's a bit symmetric. If you see it, we have like an horizontal symmetry. I like it, the idea of not going to fully symmetric thing, but half symmetric, and it makes like a really balanced composition.
Hmm. And I have to ask, what is the reason for different shapes? So you have like horizontal rectangles, you have
Mm.
vertical rectangles here. I think you also have a square. Why? Why is that?
Yes, because I saw that almost all collections or a lot of them has all the same aspect ratio. So I just wanted to bring like more variety on the collection and find each piece more unique in the collection. And playing with the aspect ratio was one of the things
Thank
for
you
that.
so much. Like I adore this collection. It's beautiful. Um, and so basically, I'm starting another like chapter of our webinar. I want to ask you on your professional journey. What inspired you to transition from being a software engineer to generating art, creating art?
Well, that's a good question. I actually don't remember the day I discovered generative art, but I do remember it was before I became interested in NFTs. So I do remember that for me it was like opening the Pandora's box. Suddenly I had something that I had never discovered, and it fit perfectly with me, like a perfect mix of my hobby, as I said, and my profession. And then I knew that I wanted to put my future there, to put my career on that. So when I started making generative art, I found everything extremely friendly and quite easy. Since it was the same language, as I said, I had been working with JavaScript, the same as in generative art, and I have also worked as a front-end developer. So for many years, so it has always it has always been my main focus, and this has given me very good skills in the visual aspect of 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 this software, like
Thank
the
you so
graph.
much.
Hmm.
Yeah. And can you tell us more on how you joined the Vivid Gallery? I know you did a few, like, I'm not sure, maybe like one-on-one pieces for FX Hash,
Yeah.
and then you joined the Vivid Gallery. So this should be a fun story. Can you tell us more about it?
Yes, I remember. It was Harto who contacted me. It was last year to launch Rising Echoes, and yeah, I will always be grateful to him for that. Like back then, I just had some not very important drops in FX House. I was not really well known, and I was really lucky to that he contacted me. I felt really lucky for that, and I also trusted them since it was the first collection they released after the Sats Alpha. So and it was not. I remember it was not a good time for ordinals, but they did it wonderfully. And back then it started a great relationship was forged that continues today. And yeah, I fell in love of how they manage the collectors, as we were talking about before, like the relationship that they create with the collectors, and that's why I'm with them right now.
Hart definitely has a talent to like curate artists, because Cyber C also told him Hart invited him.
Mm.
Yeah, and um, what I wanted to ask is that just a reminder to our listeners, you are a teacher. Sometimes you you have some lectures in the university where you tell students on how to start creative coding, how to do it. And you did an amazing quote for my article, where you had a lot of tips, and even one exercise. And I actually want you to share it once again, because
Mhm.
I know it is invaluable knowledge for everyone who is into creative coding.
Sure. Um, yeah, so I will say more. I want to say, yeah, some advice is not just for generative artists, but also for all artists that want to bring their work on the Web3 space. Like for me, the main thing is focus on quality rather than quantity. Like this is something that our Web3 artists should start doing. Create things that are truly worthwhile, and not something quick that you do during a bull run, or something that I don't want to say that it's like a bit more fast food. So work on the art, bring time to it, because good things take time. So that's my first advice. And also, if you are starting, don't launch a project alone. Do it with someone who has a presence, someone that you can trust in the space, and also verify who it is. And yeah, I will say that here that there is a room for everyone. There are more open doors, I'm pretty sure, than in traditional galleries. So don't be afraid. Don't doubt on your art. Believe in it, and work on it. And yeah, for generative artists, if you are starting, or you want to start learning code, I will start with learning P5. It's so great, not just to learn generative art, but also to learn programming. When I did the workshops with the students, like the teachers told me that, oh, this is an amazing tool to teach how to program to the child. So yeah, P5, and also I will recommend the YouTube coding train. It's really good to start. And if you want a book, I will recommend Generative Design. I have it here. Let me find one second.
Yeah, go for it. I'm like super curious to see it.
Yeah, it's this one.
Oh wow, so stylish. I love this graphic design on it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's uh, more focused on design rather than art, but it's a good starting point for a generative artist for sure.
Thank you so much. And actually, so I did several webinars with artists who are doing Bitcoin ordinals.
Mhm.
Um, and now I understood that actually I think we should talk through on, as a collector, how do you actually purchase a collection on Bitcoin? So you do a wallet. What is next? Just like guide us step by step on how someone can purchase an ordinal.
Well, you can purchase an ordinal through Magic Eden. You can purchase one of the Vivid collections. I really recommend. Don't take a look on like on other aspects than art. I mean, just buy it if you like it. Buy it because you like the art. We are a gallery, so we want collectors that really appreciate the art and want to go to get them. Uh, but yes, for talking a bit more for the upcoming projects and collections and what's next. Um, as I said, I'm working on tools for the brush strokes, so it's something that is going to be in my future works. Um, you get the last outputs on Twitter, so you can check it. And yeah, want to. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't like to say much more. Except that it's very likely that there will be some special edition or some small collection the rest of this year, and it will be a larger collection the next year, or at the beginning of next year. So yeah, as I said, good things take time, and I want to put a lot of time and effort to my next works. I will keep sharing them, some whips.
Thank you so much. Meanwhile, I am just opening your Twitter profile to show people this like new artwork that you are working on right now. And yeah, so the amazing thing is that it looks like an only oil on canvas brushworks, but indeed it is a coat, right? And you said here that there is a bunch of pixels here to create it. Wow.
Yeah, and I have to say it works quite smoothly. Like it renders in 2 or 3 seconds, which is pretty good. Uh, I'm not on the point I want to be. I want to get it further, but yeah, I'm in on the good path. I think.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So we can expect the collection of this like brush strokes to drop next year.
Yeah, sure. Like for sure, the texture and style is going to be brush strokes, but yeah, I don't want to say much about the concept and the composition and everything. Like those ones are just tests, like just doing random stuff, random lines on the screen, just to show how the colors blend and mix, and the texture how if it works properly. But yeah, at the other half of this year, I'm going to work on the concept and composition of Abbey collection for that.
I love this. I love this idea. It is amazing. And so I want to thank you for coming, for sharing a lot of tips, your beautiful art. Thank you so much. And I hope to stay in touch.
Mhm.
And for the listeners, I just want to say that we have another webinar next week. It's going to be like super an artist that creates an artworks. We have a body artist who creates different awesome shapes with her body and sells them as an NFTs. So it's going to be an exciting webinar. And Medusa, thank you once again for joining me today. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you so much. I was really comfortable talking with you, and thanks everybody to see the podcast, and yeah, keep building. You are doing so great. Thank you, Elena.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. Bye bye, guys.